Like I said in my previous video, hell hath no fury like a Karen bored. Of all the stereotypes about women you'd think woke women would try to avoid doing, it would be being gossips. Nagging, backbiting bitches spreading rumors about men who wouldn't fuck them even if it could cure cancer, child rape, AIDS, male pattern balding, and whiskey dick. Cause that's really all a whisper network is. Just a group of ungrateful bitches. And I know this because I grew up around mostly women. I've seen this in action. In fact, that's where I got ungrateful bitches from. It's one of my aunt's favorite label for these type of women. So color me unsurprised that the comic book industry that's been infected by feminists whose CP collections are probably larger than that of Namblas has a bunch of Karens who spend their time trying to ruin the lives of men they don't like because that's the only way they'll actually have a semblance of power. Bleeding Pool posted an article that lit the comic book Karens up. Quote, expose. The Whisper Network exists and seeks to destroy male comic pros. In this article, Penny Parker, that's gotta be a fake name, lays out the general premise. Several people have mentioned that there's a cabal of bad touch aunties in the comic book industry who spread rumors about men for a variety of reasons. What we've mostly seen publicly is this Karen network spreading rumors about sexual impropriety of men, rumors that usually come to light once someone publicly accuses a man of something. These same Karens who days before kept quiet or publicly defended the guy will then admit to having heard these things about him but didn't want to believe them or ignored them or whatever lie they think you're stupid enough to buy. This has happened with many notable cases over the years. The one that stood out the most for me was the Eric Esquivel incident because of how quickly so many women who'd never had any public or professional interactions with him suddenly knew about the allegations. The reactions, all pretty much the same down the line, made it seem performative and staged, like several of them had colluded together to take Esquivel down. All the allegations against him, which I mentioned in a previous video, appear believable. There is evidence supporting one of the accusers, however it would be dishonest not to mention that these allegations came out at exactly the point where he was reaching the height of his popularity. It's also worth pointing out that the women who accused him haven't said much of anything since taking him down. Now, the Bleeding Pool article focuses on the idea that these Karens target men to get the jobs these men have in the industry. Parker doesn't present any evidence to really support that position, however she was able to show that the thing these Karens claim doesn't exist, their super secret Legion of Doom Hendon, totally exists and all the usual suspects are there. This Facebook pussy and single dick party is hidden on the platform and invite only. I'm not sure how Parker got in, and I'm pretty sure those people are scrambling to figure out who she is and probably have another private group already set up. But her getting in gives us an insight to what these Karens do when they think no one's looking. For example, we've got Alex DeCracker plotting to have Jawbreakers blocked from being distributed by Simon & Schuster, something I don't even think was actually going to happen. For those who don't know, Alex DeCampi is a nobody comic book writer literally of no concern. You've never read anything she's worked on, likely won't find it in any bookstores, and even if you do, it wouldn't be her name that drew you to the book. What you see in the article is a deliberate attempt by DeCampi to destroy people she doesn't like. She does this to Richard creeping on the come-up Meyer over Jawbreakers. She goes after Max Feast Upon My Ass Bemis, who literally wrote YouTuber Doug Ernst into one of his comic books as a villain, and she targets Cullen Bunn. You'll notice a pattern with these exchanges. There's no actual corroboration given with most of these accusations. They simply make the claims and then run with them, with none of them checking to see if they even have it right. The next step is this coordinated othering they engage in, treating the target as persona non grata without even offering this person a chance to defend himself. This is apparently what then gets spread out online, probably in other secret groups and direct messages. It's just rumor after rumor after rumor after rumor. All of this is nothing more than a power play by a bunch of mostly white women, and Magdalene Visaggio, who have nothing better to do with their time because none of their work sells. If you're trying to understand the type of women Gail Simone, Zoe Quinn, Alex DeCampi, Heather Antos, and Marguerite Scott are, they're the type of women who 180 years ago would have been standing at the slave markets helping their daddies pick out the new buck. These are not nice people. These are people who have no problem ruining someone's life simply because it caught their fancy to do it that day. Your boy Zach has talked about this, how these Karens are worse than any of the terrorists he's fought. One of my friends who was sex trafficked for most of his childhood has said the same thing. He was treated better by pedophiles than any of these women. I don't think you can get any worse than that. The terrorist just wants to kill you. The pedo just wants to fuck you. These Karens want to destroy you, and they will use you to do it. Case in point, Warren Ellis. For those of you who don't know, Warren Ellis is a comic book writer. He's known for being edgy, counterculture, and having a massive ego. He's also a playa. He likes to keep himself a stable of bitches preened from his now defunct forum. Cause you gotta get them wherever you can, right? What type of desperate ass pimping is this? You're over here cribbing women off your forums? Wow. That's just sad. And you know he's scraping the underside of the barrel doing that, which is why all his groupies turned on him and accused him of abusing them by flirting with them. Oh, I'm not making this up. They call it adult grooming. So they're literally admitting that they're talking about shit that's done to a child that even the average child is able to see through, but these grown ass women were just so helpless. Come the fuck on. The Guardian posted an article about these accusations, and I'm just going to read the first couple, and you tell me where the adult grooming happens. Quote, on April 30th, a 23-year-old woman flew to the convention to surprise Ellis, whom she believed was her boyfriend. The pair had spoken on video chat and email regularly since they first met online in 2004, with some of their conversations lasting through the night. She alleges that Ellis, then 37, never told her that he had a long-term partner, and that he had asked her to keep their relationship secret because of his fame. They had sex in his hotel room that evening. A second woman, who was 22 at the time, tells The Guardian that she believes such secrecy was necessary because Ellis had not told his long-term partner about her. She says she slept with him in the same hotel room the day before, on April 29th. A third woman also went to his room on April 30th and says she had believed Ellis was in an open relationship, but says that she was, quote, not informed of the assembly line nature of his evening. It appears Ellis had dramatized the world differently for each of them. I'm still waiting to hear the abuse. All I'm hearing is a bunch of women infatuated with a marginally famous writer getting mad when they found out they weren't his bottom bitch. Yeah, it's bad that he let you to believe he was available and committed only to you, but that's not exactly abuse. You got had. That's a little different from being groomed. Now, why are they doing this to him? Well, because he supposedly offered them mentorship and success in the comic book industry in exchange for Hotel Nookie, and obviously none of these women are successful, so they're destroying him by comparing his behavior to that of a child predator. They're taking something that's very serious and trivializing it so they can play the victim to tear down a man who basically has no further use of them. And just in case you think the accusations are randomly coming out, no, they built a fucking website. I'm not kidding, look at the screen. It's called So Many of Us. It's a site where women can anonymously post accusations against Ellis, which he has no way of defending. Here's their intro statement.
We are a group of over 60 women and non-binary individuals whose utmost concern is the safety and protection of others like us. Our aim is to dismantle the systems that allow people in power to abuse that power for the purpose of serial predatory corralling, emotional manipulation, and grooming. With this goal in mind, we are sharing our stories about a man who abused his power. This statement was written with the involvement of all those who have signed it. False allegations are a misogynist construct.
I mean, really. How is anyone supposed to take this seriously? And then they list the techniques he used to manipulate them, such as frequently asks his online audience via newsletters, forums, and social media posts to send him messages, which he then filters for femme-presenting people with photos frequently matching his apparent preferred aesthetic. In other words, he's only interested in women he finds sexually attractive. So manipulative. Or seeks private interactions with chosen targets, who are often at the beginning of their careers, experiencing financial or interpersonal difficulties, or are otherwise isolated. In other words, he prefers young women. Keep going. Tests the waters and pushes boundaries for receptiveness to sexual advances. Consistently emphasizes discretion. Makes the target feel unique with constant compliments, interest, and systematic frequent contact, and other habit-forming techniques typical of operant conditioning. Uses self-deprecating statements both privately and publicly to elicit compliments and endear himself. So he flirts. Is this it? Is this really all you got? Oh fuck, he's asking not to talk about our relationship in public because he wants to keep it private. So abusive. Here's my favorite. Insinuates that he can help advance careers, sometimes follows through, thus obligating his target to continue sexual relations with him. Being dropped could mean major career consequences. Yeah, that's really vague and almost sounds like he's not insinuating anything but that you're drawing inferences that might not actually be there. And it just keeps going on like this, with this list basically outlining what it's like to be in a consensual relationship, but the guy isn't as serious as you think. Yeah, it's bad for him to lead you on, but that's not the same at all as abusing you, and trying to equate it to that does a disservice to real victims of abuse. And to prove they're so victimized and so serious about this, they end the list with this. Abrupt termination of relationship without communication. Ghosting. So what's the problem? You're claiming he's abusing you, now he's stopped. You no longer have to deal with him, why are you complaining about it? It really does make it sound like you're just trying to ruin this man's life. Nothing more, nothing less, like a typical Karen. This is what whisper networks are really for. They're not about protecting women, they're about gossip. They're about rumor spreading, backbiting, and destroying the lives of people they don't like. This is why you get warnings like this one from Heather Antos. Quote, pro tip, industries are small. People talk. Don't be a dick. Well, I have a tip for you, Heather, and all the other Karens you hang with. The internet never forgets. The FBI is watching. Karens are snitches. The thing about the town gossip is that the people who spread the most rumors are usually the ones with the most to hide. That's why they're trying to put attention on everyone else. So you Karens might want to be careful about trying to take people down, because you're being watched too. And who knows how many child-sized bones we might find in your closets. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.